Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Horror Flick Chicks podcast. Make sure you guys like and follow us here and subscribe to this channel. Today, we have a very special guest with us today, Miss Gloria Lynne Henry.
Yay!
Hello, hello.
Hello. Gloria is an actress, best known for her role as Rocky in Phantasm III, Lord of the Dead. And she has the distinguished pleasure of holding the title of first Black final girl in horror. Yay!
Get it? Yes.
Love it. She reprised her role of Rocky in Phantasm V, The Ravager. She also appeared in movies such as The Devil's Advocate and Horse Whisperer, and we're super honored to have her here today. Welcome, Miss Gloria.
Thank
Yay.
you. Thank you so much. I
Welcome.
appreciate you guys.
Thank you. So exciting.
Amazing to have you on today. Thank you so much. You look absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
And of course, the background that you have there is absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
Um,
there you go.
listen, so the first question is, how did you get your start in acting, and did you always know what you wanted to do?
I did actually. I always wanted to be, well, a ballet dancer.
Hmm.
So, black woman, well, black child, ballet dancer in Detroit, not the thing that, most girls aspire to, but I love the ballet. And so I saved up all my allowance money and I should take two buses across town on Saturdays. And that was the chores day with my mom. So she was like, "Where are you going?" So I have to get my chores done before I get on the bus. And so I get to this ballet class across town in Detroit, and I was the only black girl there. And I had my little pink tights on and unitard and everything. But I don't think my body was suitable in her eyes to be a ballerina because she kept taking her little stick and she kept saying, "Tuck it in." And she would like smack my ass. And
Oh no.
yes, so after about, I think, 2 months of that, I quit and then I started doing community theater. So that's how I got into acting.
Amazing. Well, um, I work in the arts, and I can tell you, at least in New York City, that idea has been changing.
Yes.
And there's a lot of choreographers, namely Camille Brown, who I actually went to school with,
Oh, wow.
who are changing those narratives. So thank you for that. That's an amazing story.
Yes.
That is absolutely. Um, so were you familiar with the Phantasm series before you took the role of Rocky? And how does it feel to be the first Black final girl?
Well, I guess I was familiar because when I was a teenager, I actually saw Phantasm, the first one. Scared
Okay.
the shit out of me. And it was like, wow, okay. But I never thought I would be in horror, growing up doing community theater and things like that, and then going to college for theater and studying Shakespeare. I never thought that would be my goal. Um, but then, after getting my degree at Wayne State University and then moving to California, I wanted to experience what it's like to be in film. And so, growing up in theater, everything is so big. You have to make sure you hit the back room and everything. And thou art not holy to belie me so. And it's all this, it's flowery. And with movies, it's very subtle.
Mm.
I love you no matter what you do. And even though I wanted to go, no matter what you do, I, I learned to, taper it down. And so after a few years of living in Los Angeles, uh, I didn't work as much as I would like to work. And I was going broke. I ate a lot of Thai food. And because Thai is big in California. And I
Yeah.
gained a little weight, but it wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. And so the year before Phantasm happened, I was almost broke.
No.
And
Mm.
so I was going to call my mom and say, "Listen, I'm coming home." And she said when I left, she goes, "I'll give you 6 months." And I was out there for like 4 or 5 years. So I was like,
Wow.
No.
she's not, right about that. And in December, my agent called me and said, "You have a callback, for this film." Actually, I had an audition. And so I wasn't getting anything because I had recently cut my hair to the haircut you see now. Because, I was pressing and curling forever.
Yeah.
Every time I had an audition, I had to run to Peelan, who was my, hairstylist, and, get my press and curl. And that was digging into my funds. And so,
Yeah.
my roommate, who was an ex-Marine, not a boyfriend, just a roommate, he suggested that I give them face. You have a nice face, Gloria. I was like, wow, okay, all right. So, your hair is your pride and
Yeah.
joy. Girl, I cut my hair off, went to the hood in Crenshaw, got the fade and everything. And basically, Phantasm was one of my first big auditions. So I walked in, and every sister in there had press and curl, okay, or they had a
Yeah.
wig on. I was like, yeah, I don't look like any of them. So, but I got the call back.
Mm.
Then I got another call back. And then I told my agent, I said, John, listen, I'm broke. I don't know if I can even sustain, being here another month. And then it was my fifth audition, fifth
Wow.
back. And so I was in the room with actually the lead, Reggie, and the director and everybody. I was like, oh, this looks good. All right. and and my friend who was my roommate actually gave me some military training. So I would stand more like a military person, how to hold a knife and things. So long story short, or a longer story longer, I got the job and I went on employment. And so I was able to stay a couple more months, and the film started within like 30 days. And that's how I got into Phantasm. And it was such a wild experience. Like, no one would ever think about being a final girl then. You
Right.
know, it was just, I'm working.
Right.
And people were saying, can I get you some orange juice? This is trailer. And I was just very happy. And I was like, please and thank you all over the place because I was blessed. I was
Yeah.
blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. I was gonna ask you, you mentioned it a little bit. I was gonna ask you if you had that haircut, if you did the haircut for the movie, or you just did it for yourself and then you went to the
Yeah, I did it for
you did
myself.
it for yourself.
And that because I was so different,
Yeah.
I mean, the only
Yeah.
person who had short hair in Hollywood at the time was Halle Berry.
Mm.
And so,
Right.
she had that little straight hair and yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I carried that hairstyle to New York when I moved to New York, and people were yelling at me because I dyed it blonde. And they were saying, when I went to New York, they were saying, "Hey, Cisco." I was
Oh
like, "Cisco,
no.
No.
are you comparing me to a brother?" You know,
No.
or the other basketball player, what's his name from
Oh,
Detroit?
Oh,
Rodman?
Rodman.
Dennis
Rodney.
Rodman?
Oh
Oh
no.
God.
I mean, this would be a good example. If you ain't got nothing to say, nice,
Yeah.
Yeah.
zip it. So,
Wow.
but it
Oh,
got me a lot of work, I have to say, the short haircut.
that's
And it's
Oh,
cool.
beautiful on
That's
you.
cool. I mean, you definitely look like a badass in the movie, gotta say.
yeah.
And you did say that you got a little bit of military training from your friend, but did they give you any kind of training for to use the nunchucks and to kind of do the fighting scenes?
We just
Well,
want to
yes,
know
but
so we can prepare ourselves if we see you on the street.
yeah,
Tell us your street cred.
yeah, I got some street cred. I never knew how to do nunchucks, so they taught me about 3 weeks before the movie how to handle the nunchucks. And so I was doing moves and I was practicing and hitting myself and hitting myself in the thigh and everything.
Oh,
And
no.
then I called my mom, who used to be a majorette in college in Atlanta when she
Oh.
was younger. And she says, just, do finger exercises and warm your hands up, and just try to be agile. And so
Mm.
I started doing things with my finger, and my stunt coordinator was telling me, well, that's a new move. I was like, what? I said, okay. And he liked what I was doing. Um, and so I got really good at it for the movie because I wanted to do all my own stunts. Because if you could have seen the stunt person who was trying to double me,
Oh,
No.
really?
okay, she was
You were
about
like, I could do that better.
right, right. She was about a foot shorter and she had hair down her back, and I think she was Latino. And I was like, no. And she had to put a skull cap on. It took her hours to put a skull cap on.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing her in the trailer doing rehearsals. I'm like, nah,
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
nah, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So I did all my own stunts, but one. It's one where I'm hanging off this balcony with my nunchucks. I was like, I can
Yes.
do that one.
Yeah.
So, but because of that, I liked having that power of being
Hmm.
strong. So when I met years later, a boyfriend I was dating, he was into karate. And so I would watch him in karate and I thought, ooh, so sexy. And so I started I started doing taekwondo because I have strong legs. And
Yeah.
so taekwondo is about the legs. I started that. I had a good master Washington, but it was just something about it that just wasn't me. And I had moved back to California and I started taking Jeet Kune Do,
Mm,
and my school is Cas Magda Institute. And Jeet Kune Do is derived from Bruce Lee's martial arts.
Okay.
Oh,
So Bruce Lee, his philosophy is that you basically learn everything, and what works for you, you put it into your toolbox. He teaches you boxing moves and fencing moves and wrestling moves, and it's all incorporated in how you become a better martial artist.
Right.
And so by doing that, I was like, I felt so empowered to learn how to use a stick, and to use a substitution method where I could use a water bottle, I could use my purse.
Oh,
mm.
They taught me how to use a knife and to cut a motherfucker. And it was it was so good. And to tell you, I want to brag a little bit about my school. We are
yes.
a third generation from Bruce Lee.
amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
Right. So Bruce Lee taught Dan Inosanto.
Hmm.
So he was a Filipino, and when Don Inosanto met Bruce Lee, he taught Bruce Lee how to do sticks.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
So Don Inosanto, who's about, I would say 80 or 90 now, who has a school still in Orange County, he taught my seafood, Cas Magda,
Mm.
martial arts. And
Wow.
so our seafood, he's married to this really tiny Filipino lady. We call her Guru L. And so she taught us women how to defend ourselves against men. And
Okay.
so, yeah, it's just using your high heels, just everything you
Eh,
could imagine. It's being prepared when you go out into the world. You're not paranoid, but it's almost like you're the Terminator. You're in Terminator and
Yeah.
he's scanning,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
sees exit. He sees four people over there. Okay, why is that guy sitting there
Right.
looking at me? So
Yeah.
that's how that all came about. And so I just continued that. And since I moved to Atlanta, there's no Jeet Kune Do places anywhere to be found that is that close to Bruce Lee. So I just began boxing, continuing that,
Mhm.
and learning how to, punch and get out of stuff. And I'm not
And
going to,
you still box to this day. We
yeah,
messaged
yeah,
you and you were coming out of your boxing.
yes. I
Um,
found one really close to where I live. I can walk there. I mean, it's just really nice.
That's cool.
Convenience is key.
It really is, honey.
Well, that's good. I mean, there's definitely the self-defense stuff, especially for us women, is definitely a good skill to have, whether it's,
Yeah.
taught by a school or just like, your mom telling you, because I know Sonia and I, since I could remember, our mom was always about every time we left the house, she showed us two moves.
What were they?
This,
What were
keep
they?
your eyes open,
Right?
and
Elbow, elbow.
that was her thing all the time, every time we went out. And it was always, and then us growing up in New York City too, it's
Yeah.
it's
Mm-hmm.
it's definitely
Yeah.
always,
You got to be
walking around
aware
walking
of
around with
all the
headphones, but
surroundings.
always we always
Scanning.
knew what was around us.
Right,
Always
right.
scanning.
Elbow is,
So
is elbow is one of the strongest bones in your body that a woman has. You don't really want to break your hand if you don't have to, but
Right.
you will if you need to. But I always taught my son, and I to this day, and I used to mentor a lot of women. It's okay to have headphones on, but you just have to leave one off.
Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
I do when I'm in
Yeah.
the street. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just be oblivious and when
Mhm.
people walk by you, it's just that make that little look and make
Right.
sure they are still going behind you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. We too
Yep.
cute, girls. We too cute. People
Yes.
come trying to come at us all directions.
Yes. No, we got it. We'll handle ourselves. We can handle ourselves. You have a new movie coming out soon, Southern Nightmare.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a
Oh,
grindhouse style horror film. The trailer looks sick. So excited about this. What can you tell us about it? How was it working on the film?
Okay. Well, I've been out of it for a little bit. I moved to San Diego with my husband and my child, and so I got tired of driving back and forth to LA for auditions, because I feared that on the way back after a 10-minute audition, was something happened to me. And my husband's on a work trip, and then my son's
Mhm.
in daycare. So I left the business for a while and just devoted myself to being the most fabulous volunteer mom in the world,
No.
and also event planning for my synagogue. And so I raised so much money, but it was just still there, that wanting to act. And so when I got my divorce and I moved to Atlanta, I said, I still want to do this. And Atlanta is Black Hollywood. It's still kind of
Yeah.
tough because you got to
right,
be in the clique, okay,
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
brothers and sisters. And
I mean, it's a big city. Yeah.
it is. And so I was still trying to wrestle with my mental sobriety,
Mhm.
from my divorce. And I got this email or Instagram. I'm still learning about Instagram from this director, Charlie Steeds. And he is from England. And he said, Gloria, I'd really love it if you would be in my movie. And
Mhm.
I'm like, is this real? Because, on Instagram, honey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know. You have to be careful.
You're like, how many followers do you have? Three? No, negative. Uh-uh. Deny.
And so my son even says, Mom, you can't just, unfollow people. You have to just see where they're at, in their Instagram life. I said, okay. So anyway, I took the message, and he was legit. And like I said, he's from England, and he loves doing movies in the southern states because you can't get that atmosphere in England,
Yeah.
you
Right.
know, like
Right.
you really can't, because I've been in England.
Yeah.
And so he said he had a movie project, and I said, do I have to audition after we talked for about an hour on Zoom? And he says, no. He says, no. He says, I've been
Mm,
watching your Instagram for the last year and a half. I know who you are.
that's cool.
Awesome.
Am I that personal on my Instagram?
You can flip your short hair on that one.
Right, okay.
That's right.
Well, that's what I learned. How better do my Instagram to make it more professional, though, because even though it's about my acting, my Instagram, I don't follow a lot of people.
Mhm.
And
Right.
I really talk to my followers, right? Some girl, she's got pregnant and she asked for motherly advice, and we
Oh,
DM. And, actually one young person had a mental problems at school, and he said that Rocky was his influence to stand up. I
Wow.
was like, damn,
no.
and
Great.
just the positive energy that I got that I didn't even know was out there about my character because social media wasn't a thing,
Right.
Yeah.
so I really love that. So I got the part. And so it was shot in Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah.
And we stayed in this Airbnb, is it our Airbnb?
Airbnb. Yeah.
And I hung out with all the other people in the cast. And I, of course, was like the oldest person. I said, but listen, I ain't trying to be nobody mama up in here. All
Right.
professional, okay? And the cast was just so great. Sometimes I cooked, director sometimes cooked. I would go on set when I wasn't filming. Um, and this young man, I'm telling you, he was doing everything. He, had the camera, he was helping with sound, he was helping with props. It was amazing to watch someone do everything when I'm used to a director having this cloud of people behind them,
Right.
you know, and I was very impressed. I was very impressed with him. So the character is a mama, and she has a daughter who wants to go off into the world and do some singing with her girlfriend and leave the South. And I'm really worried about her. And it's based in the 70s. So we had to wear and I
Mm.
have my locks still, right? I'm like, how am I gonna do locks?
Yes.
So if you watch it or see in my Instagram, I got this gray wig,
Yes.
and I made a little bun in the back and kept my locks in the front. And so I channeled the only person I knew and admired from the 70s who was sexy and badass was Pam Grier.
Yes.
So I said, well, if I'm gonna be a mama,
Right.
you know, a gun-toted mama, let me just, channel her.
Yeah.
And and so this black family basically kicks ass.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you about everything, but I'm just so proud of this character and this family,
Mm.
that is so positive and it's so country,
Mhm.
but it's funny and it's horrific and there's a lot of blood going on.
Yes.
I wish that it gets great distribution. I wish that people look at it. I'm not used to doing a small budget movie in my past career, no matter even if I did commercials. But I was just so enamored about what they were doing to put this on that I was like, hey, let me roll with it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted me without even an
Ex-
audition,
Exactly.
so
Right.
that's how I got the role in Southern Nightmare.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
I
awesome.
can't wait for
Well
it.
Right?
deserved, and there should be more and more and more and more and more
Yes.
after this.
I agree. I agree.
Is there any, do you know if there's any word about when it's going to come out released, or is it still kind of waiting for the distribution and
Well, so far he has distribution, but right
okay.
now it's at film festivals. Like
Okay.
Mm.
I
Okay.
went I went to a film festival in Arkansas last year, and then there was one that was in Ohio, but I was at the WonderCon this past weekend when that happened, so I couldn't go there. And there was one in Germany, I believe. And
Mm.
so
Wow.
he's done a couple tweaks to it. So I don't know what the final cut is, but when I saw it in Arkansas, I was laughing, I was jumping, and somebody said on a news clipping that it's the best experience is to be sitting in front of Gloria Lynne Henry when she's watching her movie for the first time.
Oh.
So yeah, fingers crossed that even if it goes to streaming, which would be awesome too. So
Oh
Yeah.
just
yeah.
get people to watch it. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, based on the trailer alone, I'm there. Like whenever it's
definitely.
out,
Wherever it is,
Yeah.
right?
oh my God, it looks sick. It looks crazy. Like a lot of fun, a lot of fun. Speaking about conventions, there like especially I feel like conventions been around for a long time, but nowadays, especially with horror, you see a lot of actors going to these conventions, meeting fans, taking photos, all this stuff. So how come you're not at a lot of the cons like your other Phantasm counterparts?
Well, I believe before COVID, there were very few horror movies, out. And then everyone started making horror movies during and after COVID. So when there was like 400 entries in horror, now there's like 4,000
Right.
entries in horror. Um, so back in the day, I before Instagram, I just chalked it up to it just wasn't available to me, because I wasn't like the white lead. I know
Mm.
that's really
Got
weird,
it.
but and then I was still living, with and raising my family in California, and I didn't know all the things that was happening and all the conventions that people were going to. All of a sudden, one time I got a call. We did Comic Con. I was like, "Oh my God!" Like down the street. Okay, this is great, and that's why I met the gentleman who played Candyman. He gave me a ride back in his limo, and
Oh, Tony.
Oh,
and
Wow.
I
Wow.
really liked this. And then I went to a Halloween haunted house one time. They flew us in. to go through the house and be filmed with a camera. And so I was blessed to have those. But the closer it came to having social media, and you look back and you see all this, is like, well, what the fuck was I on that one?
Yeah,
Right.
You know,
exactly.
yeah, why are they standing in front of a red carpet over here? You know,
Right.
and I even moved to New York at one point, and before I knew it, they had made another movie, Phantasm 4,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
and so I didn't understand what the deal was. I mean, I would go to a convention and sign autographs, and there was the one that really hit me the most was this Asian gentleman, this little cute Asian guy, and he had a celluloid picture of me, like a picture from the actual movie, but it was like 11 by 14. And his broken English, he says, Rocky, he says, please sign. And you charge a little bit of money, whatever.
Right.
Oh,
And I saw this and I was like, wow. And he says, Rocky, where have you been? I've waited. So, I mean, and there are people coming out of line with signatures, that was signed a while ago.
Right.
And I'm going, yeah, where the hell have I been?
mhm.
And I mean, and even now, when I go to the occasional convention, I would see horror actors who wore masks in their movie.
Yep.
Stop
Yeah.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And what are you doing here? No, sorry. It's true though. It's true though.
Um,
I feel you, Gloria. I feel you.
Thank you. Or voiceover actors,
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
and I was like,
Plenty of those. Yeah.
yes, right. And I would take a minute and I would walk around the entire convention, and there would be no Black people signing at all.
Mm,
Mm.
And I go,
Wow.
how is that possible? And I'm
yeah.
at this one convention, they had the Phantasm reunion or whatever. It was like the 45th reunion in Kentucky. And they had all of us there. All of us. Is this the only time I'm worthy?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the powers that be appreciated my character enough to include me. Maybe
Yeah.
they thought it was novel at the time,
Right.
um, but now I'm like, why not? Why aren't you vouching for me? Why aren't you saying you need to have her? Um, because I don't want to be the last man standing, of all the actors. But I think right now, I'm the most prominent one standing.
Yes.
Right.
And I
Yes.
want to represent, my
Yeah.
film. And
Yeah.
I know it's like one film, but people are doing conventions on a film they did,
Oh
and
yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Hellraiser or
And
whatever, or Friday the 13th Part 1.
Yep.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you are
It's
such a
true.
distinctive character. You should be at all of the cons. You're
Oh
well
yeah.
deserved.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
The
And I've
movie's
even,
like the movie's
sorry, go ahead.
iconic, the character's iconic. So that alone should have you at all the cons.
You would think, but
Yeah.
I started hearing rumors how certain cons are like rivalry with East Coast, West Coast cons, and
Okay.
they don't want you to be at this con if you're at that con, and you can't
Mm.
a con if under 700 miles from another con. I was like, what?
Wow.
you know, and that bothered me. And so I realized one of my girlfriends, Naomi Grossman, she has an agent that does that, actually sends her to cons. He gets a little cut,
Right.
but
Okay.
her kind of character was from American Horror Story.
Horror
American Horror
Story, yeah.
Yeah.
Story. Yeah.
I mean, that's my girl. I mean, we used to do Red Bull together. I was at all of her first comedy shows, one woman comedy shows,
That's
but she just
cool.
finished doing him, and him put her back on the map too.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
him. I saw. Yes, I saw him. Yes.
Yeah, that she did good in that one. And so I don't know what it is, and I'm not a beggar. I can't go, please,
Yeah.
Right.
please. No,
Yeah, I get it.
I just,
Oh,
and
you
I'm
shouldn't
No,
have
I
to.
think it sounds
That's
like
a
the con.
shame.
It
Yeah.
sounds like the con scheduling and just like the ideas behind it need to change because, I know that folks would love to see you at these conventions.
I think you're
Absolutely.
right. I think you're right. But you can't walk in and set up a table.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't know what.
and when they invite you, honey, it's so nice. They fly you in and everything and put you up in a hotel and and yeah, we're
No, we need to petition. We need
I
to
was gonna say
petition
that.
for
I was
you
just
to
gonna
be
say
there.
something. We have to do something.
We have to do something.
I would love that.
That's it.
I
I'm
would
really glad you brought this up because we're all, we're all big fans and we would
Yeah.
love to see you at a con. And we
thank
know
you.
that lots of other people would love to.
And then maybe we will go to more of them because we don't really go to
So,
them.
yeah,
It's
And it's like
exactly.
the same people all the time.
It's
Right.
hard and yeah, and just to I mean there's local ones, yeah. Like I always go to New York Comic Con every year because it's
Yeah.
in New York, it's close.
Yeah.
But going different in the weekends is hard, especially with the kids with the sports and the
Yeah.
things and the thing. I
Yeah.
can't really get to things, so it's hard. But I'll make time if there's someone there that I want to see. You
Right.
know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
But if
right.
it's the same people all the time, it's like, I can catch up another time. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So let us know how we can support you. We will
And do the
absolutely on our
petition.
socials. We're gonna do the petition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are
And I'm
you?
gonna put it on my social media. I'll ask my other friends to share it and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yes.
We're gonna
Yeah,
figure it
we
out. We're
gotta
gonna
do
figure it
something. We
out.
gotta do
I
something.
appreciate it because,
Are
honey,
you like just speaking again about the convention? Do you have any upcoming appearances at conventions or?
well, hopefully, I just did the WonderCon one, and hopefully the Comic Con this summer, I'll be going back with
Oh,
Gigi, who is Reggie's wife. So basically,
okay.
I'm piggybacking off of her, and I'm like, I don't care how I get there,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. And if the fans see me, then they would, post and
Oh
tag me
yeah.
and but I really want to get back to acting. I really do.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
um, but I don't mind talking to people. I mean, you've never been to one of my cons, honey. There's one young lady, she walked by at the Anaheim convention, and she was smiling, right? And she walked by, and I said, "Come on, get over here." And she's like, "Oh," she says, "I'm sorry." She says, "I don't have any money to buy anything."
Yeah. Oh,
I said, "Not all of us hear about the money.
right.
Yes, we want to sell stuff, but I said, but you're here to see someone that brings you joy,
Yes.
Yeah.
And I talked to her, and I think I gave her enough encouragement. I said, if you see somebody down there that you want to talk to, just go up and say, I admire you so much, and I'm just so
Oh,
glad. Maybe they'll charge you to take a selfie. I don't know. I didn't charge you to take selfies, but
Yeah.
that's the whole point. You dress up and you walk down the aisleway and you want people to see you, right? And you're like, oh, I see her in that movie and I like her, or that's my favorite animation. That's what brings me joy to
yes.
see
Yeah.
faces. Yeah.
That's what it's about.
That
Yeah.
was
I mean, the
about.
fans, especially horror fans, are super loyal.
And so
And I
and
mean,
so nerdy. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
and I just want to say, as always, representation matters,
Yeah,
right? Like, we need to see various different people that look like us, right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
I am very happy to read my next question to you because I've been very curious to hear. We've read that you were a front woman on a funk rock band, so
Uh,
as a musician, I need to ask. I'm glad this question fell on me. Tell
so,
us about it.
tell you about it. Well, there was one point when I left California for the first time, and then I went back home to Detroit with a stopover in Arizona. I did a equity play in Arizona, and then I moved to back home, and that's where I kind of met my fiance, boyfriend, and I wanted to experience New York. And so I moved to New York, and I lived with my great aunt in Jamaica, Queens. And
Oh,
You
nice.
love me some Aunt
from
Catherine.
Queen, sorry.
Okay. And I just loved her to death. I would come home from whatever work I had to do, and she was drinking coffee at 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm like, Auntie, that's caffeine. He said, this guy, don't bother me now. Okay, it does not affect me. I was like, okay. And I stayed at her house for a while, and then what I didn't know that one of my cousins, his name is Brian Hargrove, he is the bass player in Public Enemy. And
Mm.
so I was like, oh, okay, celebrity in the house, right?
Yeah.
And after getting to know me a little bit and we used to hang out and stuff, he said, "Well, Gloria, do you sing?" And I was like, "No." I said, "But I can tap dance." You know? And he said, "I was wondering if you would help me out." He said, "I have some music and I was wondering if you would help me write some lyrics for it."
Hmm.
And I've always considered myself a really good storyteller.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. And so he writes some music, and I would just close my eyes and I would tell the story to however the music's making me feel. And I did about 4 or 5 songs like that. And he really, really liked it. And he said, "You want to be in a band with me? We'll start a new band up." I'm like, you a public enemy. What do you, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think he saw something in me that would draw people to the band. So the band was called Chatter, because I talk a lot, literally.
I
And,
love it.
but I do carry a tune. But what I did was I created stories with the music. And sometimes I would take from my real life, like there's a song called Snoopy, the making of what's the guy's name? Uh what's the psycho killer? Um
Oh,
Norman Bates, the making of Norman
Oh,
Bates.
Norman Bates. Okay.
So it was actually a story of how I met my boyfriend. And another one about what my experience was in Hollywood the first time. And we would have this little bar we would go and play in the village. And what I found amazing was that usually when you go to bars and hear bands, people are talking and stuff, and nobody was talking. They were like literally glued to me. And I would have wig changes, and I would go to the bathroom to the crowd and change my clothes and come out, when they were vamping and everything. And it was great. And we got a lot of attention. And the newspaper actually said that they compared me to a combination of Grace Jones and Bette Midler.
Wow.
Oh,
ooh.
That
oh.
is a cross section.
Yes, yes.
That's amazing.
Because I was gonna say, I had this in my head because I'm watching the movie Phantasm 3 and then just watching your picture
Mhm.
behind you. I was thinking Grace Jones in my
Grace
head.
Yeah,
Jones. Yeah.
yeah.
So, but the Bette Midler, I'm like,
I
that
know,
threw me
Honestly,
off.
honestly, both super badass. So that is
right?
such an
That's true though.
honor.
Yeah.
I mean, for that reporter to put those two together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I loved it. We even made a CD, and I was devoting a lot of my time to the band, which meant I wasn't devoting my enough time to acting.
Right.
And I would do jobs like catering, making crazy money, working for Cipriani's and stuff. And I did some stunt doubling for certain, Hollywood actresses while I was there. And I loved the music. I did. And this is still before social media.
Yeah.
Right.
I had to say to myself, I didn't spend so many decades of my life doing films and television. Now what? I'm doing postcards of the band, and I just and I think what really got me was that a friend of mine is director my name Carl Franklin, who I knew back in California. Um, he was in New York doing a movie. And so I wanted him to come to see my performance. And so he said he couldn't come. But all of a sudden, we got this call. They wanted my band to be in one of his movies. And
Oh,
basically, it was a done deal. And, Carl hadn't even seen us or anything. He just went by knowing me. And so my cousin, Brian, and I are on this phone call, no Zoom back then, with like these heads of this movie department. And they're asking me, well, can I sing this song? Can I sing that song? And basically, what they wanted was a wedding singer.
Mm.
And, a wedding singer can sing any and everything.
Yeah.
right.
So my cousin and I asked him, well, if you have a song that you want done, I mean, I can, lip sync it. It'll be great. But they somehow, for some weird reason, back then wanted to do original songs.
Mm.
And unfortunately, I didn't want to make a fool of myself or the band because I'm not that kind of singer.
Yeah.
Can you imagine me going on set and trying to sing, a wedding song, Last Dance by Donna Summers or whatever? No.
Yeah.
I can act the shit out of it though.
Yeah.
you know. Um, so that's when I knew. I said, I can't keep doing this. And so I moved on and I got this role in Devil's Advocate in New York City, and I loved it. Got to meet Al Pacino.
Yes.
I got to kiss Al Pacino too, but they didn't put that in the movie. I was pissed at that.
Oh man.
You
But
know,
that lives in your
but you,
memory forever.
yes.
he is such a genius. Every take is different, and you really have to just be in the moment and follow along with him.
Right.
And when he kissed me, and then the director says, "Cut," I said, "Can we keep that one?" What I want kept, you know,
I
and
wanted
You asked for a copy of it.
Yeah.
yeah, right. Peel me off a copy, and getting to sit next to Keanu between takes, and that boy's skin is flawless. It's
I'm
just,
sorry, but Keanu is probably thinking the same thing about you,
well,
honey.
let me tell you, my hair was short like that, but it was platinum blonde.
Wow.
Okay, with curls, and it was like, it had the tight ass dress on. I was like, all right, but he was so professional. I was trying
yeah.
to go with the guy who kissed me. I'm like, well, that's my end over there.
I
Uh,
love that.
I'm sure he was like professional, but
Checking
like,
you out. Yeah, exactly.
right. And Al Pacino has some nice lips, I have to say.
oh,
Yeah, yeah, that was all good. But yeah, I did some work like that, but then I realized I need to go back to California. You
Yeah.
know, it was just way too expensive to be living in New York City and not making the kind of money I could
yeah.
make.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every corner is a bodega. You got to buy something.
I
Oh,
know.
Yeah.
Believe us, we understand. Yes,
I know.
yeah.
yes. Well,
I try.
saying that that you're consider yourself a good storyteller. Would you ever, or have you ever written, uh, or thought about writing a movie, a script for a movie?
Actually, it's not a script for a movie, but when I was moving from California, I found all these notes and stories that I wrote at one point because um I forgot what they call it. Is it a vivid dreamer? It's the kind of person that can change their dreams while they're in it, and can go back to it.
Okay.
I have those kind of dreams, and so I would wake up and write these stories,
Okay.
and I have a lot of them. I even am an inventor, and so I want to put a story in the commercial. I see it. I see them in my head. But I never thought of writing a script. Girl, I was just trying to raise my son,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
stay married, but that didn't work out. Keep the body intact during COVID.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um, but I have a lot of ideas. I do. But it's so hard to focus on the one that's going to make you money.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think right now I want to focus on my invention that I have a patent for. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I think once that is done and I make some money off of that, then I can do whatever the fuck I want to do,
Right.
you know,
Right.
because it's
Right.
always about the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the end.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even Charlie has agreed, if I got money, can you make me a little vignette, or other people on Instagram, let me see your work first. I think that would be the way to go, is to make a little mini movie of myself, you know.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
That
yeah,
would
I
be
mean
cool.
nowadays, independent horror lately has been really big. So
yeah,
like a short little horror film even,
exactly.
all you have to
A
do is
short, yeah.
nowadays is put it on YouTube, put it
Yeah.
on like they have tons of free movie sites, Tubi and all these, and
Yeah.
people, horror fans will gravitate to it,
Yeah. Oh yeah. They watch that stuff.
And
and they will blow it up.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I particularly love shorts because I have a little attention span issue. So
Yeah,
the ones that I have seen at like there's one Brooklyn Film Festival that I go to every year, and they have like an amazing like lineup of short horror films. I mean, I'm sorry, but so much, sometimes so much better than the feature films.
right,
They're
right, right.
really amazing. And if you write something like that, you can show up at a festival and talk about it.
I'm learning that because Southern Nightmare, I'm learning the way you scaffold into getting into a film festival. You
Yeah.
know, there's a few hoops you have to jump through, but it still comes back down to who you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
know, as my
It's
agent once
unfortunate.
said, as my agent once said a long time ago, be nice on the way up because if you're
Yeah.
not, they're the same people you meet on the way back
Yep.
down,
Yeah.
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 you
Hmm.
know.
That's
So,
with everything.
That's
yes,
it.
exactly,
That's with
exactly.
everything.
Yeah.
So, well, I hopefully we get to see one of the ideas that are in your head come to life. Because I'm
Right.
sure it'll be, if you do it, it's gonna be awesome because you're awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's hard to take flattery, but I just take it with a positive like note because
Yeah.
why diss on myself, right? You know,
Yeah.
and you guys are so lovely. The fact that you wanted me means a lot.
Oh my gosh.
And it's so, we just quick, I just want to say, we know about you obviously from the movie and from what we see on social media and things like that, but we don't really know you. So it's nice to have you on. And I feel like you have your hands in a lot of different things.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you're so uh well versed, I guess. Is that the right way to say it? You're
yeah.
like you have
Yeah.
you're into a lot of things that is nice. We would never have known that if we didn't speak
Right.
to you today.
Yeah.
So, I love that. I love this conversation. It's been great.
Me too. Well, right now I'm into doing my taxes. Okay.
Yeah. I know.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, that's important.
you gotta get
Trying
on
to
it.
I'm
You
trying to
got
do
Yeah.
that
5
this
days.
weekend myself.
You only have a few days.
Days all over that. Okay.
Very important, very important.
And my son's calling me, Mom, Mom, I said, listen, okay, not for the next 5 days. Mama ain't got time right
Right.
now. Don't
Mama's
throw me
busy.
off.
Mama's busy.
Your mama is busy, yes, but yeah, I am blessed with that beautiful boy. I really am. So,
Oh,
Oh, that's amazing. That's
yeah.
amazing. Well,
yeah.
whenever a new project comes along, please let us know. We'd love to promote you, have you on the podcast again to talk about it, or we
Okay.
could do something fun. Yeah, we'd love to do that. We're
Yeah.
Yes.
always here to support you.
And
And
I'm
be your friend. We'll like to be your friend.
I mean, like I said, you look at my Instagram, I don't follow a lot of people. All right. I don't do the like you follow me, I follow you. It's like, let me see what's going on over there.
Yeah.
Right.
But people talk to me. I have no problem, responding, or they email me and say I need a headshot. I go, well, you know how much it costs, and but we'll end up talking,
Right.
or I'll just send out messages saying, how are you today to certain people. And they'll be like, "This is Gloria Lynne Henry." I'm like, "Yeah." Well, I remember as my messages say that you were going through this. I just wanted to know how you were doing. Your father wasn't feeling very well, so that's who I am. I'm not. I can't change that.
Yeah.
And you
And I'm
should.
gonna be
Don't change it.
right.
Yeah.
Don't
Thank
change it.
you. I think my husband tried to for a minute, but who married.
Well, that's why he's out the door.
I'm going to be going to New York soon, for this chef's dinner that's happening. Hopefully I'll get my taxes done in time and I'll be in New York for a couple days and stuff. But I miss New York. It's
Yeah.
energy. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
There's
Yeah.
really no place like New York.
Hmm.
And honey, I've been to a lot of places that say we're like New York. You know,
No.
like Tokyo was one of them. And I was like, yeah, it's got the energy, it's got the bright lights, but it
Not
ain't
the
Yeah.
New
same.
York.
It,
Yeah.
New
yeah.
York. Yeah. So, but
One
thank you
of a
so
kind.
much, guys. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
awesome.
No, thank you, Gloria. This has been
Absolutely.
amazing. Again, we are super honored that you took our invitation to come on the podcast. and talk to us. We're super excited. And I want to take the last few minutes and give the floor to you. If you want to let everyone know about your social media, where they can follow you and where they can, catch up on what you're doing and see what's coming up for you.
Thank you. Okay, so I hear people do this all the time when they're on the radio, and they say it so fast. Well, sorry, I'm at Gloria Lynne Henry, GLORIALYNNEHENRY. Okay. Instagram. And I know some of you try to get me on Facebook, but I don't want to mean to be rude, but the Facebook is literally just for my family because a lot of personal things go on. And so I even message you back and say, follow me on Instagram. And so that's how you can get a hold of me, boys and girls and people of all kinds. And I love it. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Everything you said was
Perfect.
right. Everything you said was right.
Right.
Well, thank you again so much. And guys, thank you for watching this episode. Make sure again that you're subscribed to us here, Horror Flick Chicks on YouTube. And please follow us on all our socials. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Until then, peace, love, and horror.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
That's the end.